Well, are you going to start the show or what?
I didn't know I was supposed to start the show. I'm always waiting for you to sing or hum or.
Well, somebody said something about hello to everybody here hanging out in the lobby, and it made me think of like, let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby.
I think it's let's all go to the movies, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it like where you go get yourself a treat? Isn't that it?
I don't think so.
I don't know. You guys tell us.
I don't know. I think she's
what is it?
She's making crap up.
Well, hey, what's going on?
Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. And your turn. What is Wednesday?
See, that's why you were supposed to start the show, and then I'm like sitting here with like dead air because she's like, I feel like every week I have to do the whole spiel, and I'm like, well, I'll do it this week anyway. So yeah, it's Wednesday, which means it's Boss Up and List Day, which is our virtual listing party. It's kind of like an all-day listing party that we do in the Boss Facebook group. So if you're not in the Boss Facebook group, you should be. The link is down below. But basically, it's just a way for us all to kind of check in and be like, here's our goals for the day, maybe the week, hold each other accountable, because we all know that probably the number one that sellers struggle with is the listing part. It's really fun to go out and source it, but maybe not so fun to list it. So we try to have like daily check-ins as well as this kind of weekly Wednesday, just, you know.
The Wednesday's the more official one.
Mm-hmm. And then we just
did pretty good.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Anyway, let me go ahead and pause this over here.
Talk about some of our sponsors.
Well, here's the thing. I was thinking, we'll talk about our sponsors in a little bit. I was thinking that we should jump right into the meat of what we wanted to talk about today, only because I want to make it really easy for us to share this video, like when people talk about it in the group and stuff like that. And it's just like right in the first part of the show.
All right.
They don't necessarily have to watch the whole hour of us yammering on. Sorry, me yammering on.
Thank you for that correction. I do really like, I'm still going to say, I really like the person who commented on my vintage haul video and said, it's so nice to hear your voice, Vicki. You never get a word in edgewise.
If you guys knew us in real life, you'd know we're both, I would say we're equally good at talking on and on and on. So
it's true.
It's a battle. It's a daily battle.
Pay attention to me. No, pay attention to me. No, wait, it's me.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about the whole sales tax thing. Do we have all the answers? No. And some of the stuff we're not going to know for sure really until after the first of the year. But as you know, or as you should know, there's been a lot of changes to sales tax over the last year or so. This has been an ongoing thing. It was a battle at the federal level. Different states wanting to be able to collect sales tax off of online sellers that are in other states other than their own. They want to be able to capture those sales. And so there have been a lot of changes. eBay did try to fight on our behalf to keep from us having to collect sales tax for other states.
And they're still fighting it. They're still fighting the battle. It is being fought in other states, and it's the federal battle has gone in appeal.
Right.
It is, they're still fighting it. So.
Right. And so before, the way it worked is if you lived in a state that collects sales tax, you as a seller within your own state would collect sales tax from buyers who were also residing in your own state, but you didn't have to worry about other states. That is changing.
You only had to worry about where you had a physical presence for your business.
Exactly. So for instance, in Nevada, you collect sales tax and then you would remit that to the state government.
Right. Whether it's monthly, quarterly, biannually, yearly, however you're required to for your state.
Right. And now that's changed in a lot of ways. There are many states that have been added to kind of this list of states that eBay is collecting sales tax for. I think it's now up to like 20 some states, or I'm not sure exactly the number of states. They have a list.
It's somewhere. A lot of them, and they have more on the schedule that are going to be rolling out over the next few months too.
So like Washington, and they just recently added California, which is a big state since there's a lot of sellers that come out of California. A lot of buyers that come out of California. It's a high population state.
They added Nevada October 1st.
Right. So as a seller, luckily we're not having to worry about collecting those taxes anymore and for those additional states, because eBay is taking that on for us. Etsy does the same. Amazon's done the same for a long time.
If you buy something, here's the thing. If you're somebody that purchases online, you're paying sales tax and have been for many, many years. depending on the company that you buy it from. Amazon, you're paying sales tax in every state if there is sales tax. If you live in a state that has sales tax, there are a few that don't. So it's not an issue. It's just that eBay fought for as long as they could to not do it. It's a very complicated process. There are thousands of tax jurisdictions. As an individual seller, it is crippling and impossible for any one of us at any level. I think there may be a few eBay sellers that are at the level they could afford to handle something like that, but for the most part, none of us can.
T. Taylor says 34 states.
Okay, so 30-something states. So anyway, the fact that eBay is taking on this challenge and taking care of it for us, I mean, yay, thank God.
Huge.
They have not, as of yet, begun to charge us a fee for that, so to speak. They have not increased our fees as of yet. I'm not saying that that's not on the horizon, because it could be. This is not an inexpensive task for them to take on at all.
No.
So, will that mean that we're going to pay higher fees at some point? I have a feeling. eBay has not raised fees in almost 2 years. I expect there's going to be a fee increase next year. That's not fact. I don't have that from any sources. This is my experience on the platform. They rarely go longer than 2 years without raising fees.
Well, and in this case, I think it would be unreasonable for us as sellers to expect them to provide this service for us, honestly, if we had to collect for 34 different states and who knows how many other jurisdictions, it would put a small seller out of business. You just couldn't handle that, the complications of it. And so at some point, we're going to have to pay for that. But the problems that are arising from this momentarily right now, there's a couple of them. First of all, you're going to notice, as a seller, that it's affecting how your sales look.
Yep, you've received a message. First of all, let me just say, for the past several months, as they've been collecting sales tax, you've been probably seeing it on your seller hub that has been counted as part of your daily total. Every day, if you're collecting sales tax, say you sell something for $100 and it's taxed for $8 in another state, you're only receiving that $100, but your sales figures have shown it being as 108.
So that's a little bit, it makes it kind of confusing because you're seeing your numbers. It would be nice, and hopefully they'll change this in the future. I'm sure it has something to do with like where the numbers go, where it's programmed, because I want to know that I sold $149 and change today, not 155 something, because some of it's sales tax. So that's one issue.
So I just want to address one thing. If you guys can hold your questions in the chat, we are going to address every single thing you guys are talking about. So just hold your questions, because we're not going to be answering them as we're getting the information out. There's no reason for us to go back and forth. So why don't you listen and let us get through the information, because we're going to address those questions.
Okay, so I just wanted to address that part first, because that's what we're seeing from a lot of people. They're really confused, and they're worried about how that's going to affect how they figure out their own taxes as far as income, revenue, and all that kind of stuff.
Here's the thing. At some point before we receive our 1099s in January from PayPal, there should be a separation. Will it happen? Nobody knows until we see what these 1099s look like. If you look at your sales figures and you happen to use a GoDaddy bookkeeping system or something like that, they are separating it. They're separating sales tax collected versus your income collected. It is calculating properly using GoDaddy. If you use managed payments, GoDaddy and managed payments are not working together yet, so there's still an issue there. If you're not using GoDaddy bookkeeping, it's something you should keep track of yourself. There is a way to do that. There are reports that you can go in and run on eBay that will show you your the breakdown. You can take a look at it and see it monthly for yourself. I'm not saying you need to individualize every single transaction, but you should be keeping track of what is your income, what is your shipping income, what are your shipping costs, what is, you should be keeping track of stuff like that as a whole. In general, anyway. So
it used to be a lot easier when all you did was sell on eBay and everything came through PayPal, and it was easier to kind of separate out those different costs and your income and everything. But hey, guys, now that more people are diversifying, going to different platforms, and they don't all use PayPal, like if you're doing Etsy, and now with managed payments, and then with stuff with taxes, it's becoming a lot more complicated. And so we're going to have to keep on top of that.
If you do not use any form of bookkeeping like GoDaddy or something like that, I will say that somebody did mention this in the chat, Tina, it is correct that if you go in and use the accounting that you see on PayPal itself, PayPal breaks it down for you. PayPal has also breaks down what portion is sales tax and what portion is income and things like that. So you can very easily track your sales, not just through PayPal. I mean, not just through eBay, but also through PayPal if that's your method of receiving payments. So first of all, or second of all, or third, I don't know what number I'm on now, but whatever, point.
Yes.
Anyway, so there's that. Now, what you should have seen, if you haven't already, you should look at your Seller Hub today, maybe when we're done with this show, but your Seller Hub is going to have a link under announcements talking about the changes in sales tax and how it affects you now. Before, they've given you announcements every step of the way, what states have been added and how it's going to look different. This one is a little confusing. The way that they worded everything on this announcement is a little bit harder to understand. So we have asked for a little bit of clarification on it, but we've also been doing just our own investigating over the last 2 days to see what it is. So
So bottom line, I mean, you're going to see a lot of people. I've seen posts where people are surprised, they're confused, they're upset, and all these different things. Bottom line, at some point, we're going to have to bear the cost of the sales tax being processed. That's just the reality of it. So on PayPal, the way that it has changed. Before, let's say I'm a buyer, I bought something a few days ago on eBay. I made one PayPal transaction to the seller that I bought that item from, and I made a separate transaction to eBay for the sales tax. So it was going through the seller and through eBay through those PayPal transactions. Now it's one transaction. So that's money. That money is going from the buyer to PayPal. And PayPal is basically taking that sales tax and giving it to eBay, and they're taking the rest of it and giving it to us as a seller.
And that's all happening in moments. It's all happening at the same time. It's not something you need to worry about. It's not something you need to, all of a sudden, you're going to have this influx of sales tax coming in and you've got to go out and submit it to PayPal. It's not on your monthly invoice, nothing like that. It's still happening seamlessly. The only change that you need to be concerned with is, or even if you need to be concerned, but you need to be aware of, is that now PayPal, not eBay, but PayPal is adding your 2.9% processing fee on the incoming money, and it's all of the incoming money. It's including the tax. Right. So everything that is being processed through that payment, you are paying 2.9% on. Yes, it's only pennies on most transactions, but it does add up. Right. So
Alex said earlier, and I want to confirm what they said. Yes, I'm assuming that before, like I said, it was a separate transaction to eBay. I'm assuming whatever transaction fees, whether they have the same percentage that we have to pay or they have a separate deal with PayPal, they were bearing the cost of that transaction fee before. It's just being transferred onto us now. Now, I don't necessarily have a problem with this. If that's the cost of having this tax stuff taken care of for us, is that we have to pay that 2.9% processing fee on the sales tax, but we don't have to deal with it, great, fantastic. But just so you know, we are now paying for that through that fee. If you're in managed payments, as far as I know, according to Teresa,
and according to the announcement itself, managed payments is not changing. It doesn't affect you any differently.
Managed payments is not currently charging their processing fee on that sales tax portion. I'm guessing it's going to change at some point. I sell on Etsy. Etsy does charge you the processing fee. It does include the tax. So it's not like something new. This isn't something that is suddenly happening to us and we should be super angry about it. It's in no way is it new. That's exactly how they do it on Etsy. According to Casey Paris, they don't do that. And I think you had said the same thing. They don't do that on Amazon. They don't charge you a processing fee on the tax. So it's different from platform to platform. So again, nothing new, but it does somewhat confuse people with the numbers. And honestly, I talked to Mark from Notre Dame CPA yesterday, and honestly, we're not going to know exactly how all this is going to be reflected in like your 1099s, what's going to be reported to the IRS, and how this is all going to look. And so honestly, a lot of this information we're not going to be more clear about until after the beginning of the year when we get those tax documents. And so we're thinking that we'll probably have Mark come back on sometime at the beginning of the year, so we can actually talk about, okay, so how does this affect how we should be keeping our records, how we should be looking at things as far as paying our own taxes and filing our own taxes every year.
So Tina, I want to address what you're saying there. You're saying PayPal is not taking a 2.9% on sales tax because it gets corrected each week. Tina, I'm going to correct you. You are incorrect. That is the way that it was previously. As of yesterday, it has changed. Okay, so we're not addressing what
Actually,
happened
it was Tuesday,
Tuesday.
as of the 4th.
Sorry. Yeah, yesterday was Tuesday, honey.
Sorry, as of Monday, it was the 4th.
As of Monday the 4th. So previously, you are correct. Everything was shaking out differently. As of the 4th on Monday, and it wasn't all of the transactions. It started about midday on Monday. That is no longer the way it is. Now you are paying the 2.9% processing fee on the incoming tax. So I'm just going to correct you because what you're saying is not correct. It was previously. It is not now.
Yeah.
And that we're talking about what's happening now.
That changed with the way that the tax was coming in to PayPal has changed as of Monday. It went live on Monday, so it's completely different. If you look at a transaction on Sunday compared to Monday, totally different.
Yeah. So also, I just want to say this is not a huge cause for alarm. Nothing about the way that you do business needs to change. You just need to be aware that it has changed. You need to know when you look at your transaction from on PayPal, if you click on the details of the transaction, this is where you're going to see it spelled out. But it looks weird. And right now, if you don't know what you're looking at, you'll know where this money come from and why is it going right back out and what is this big charge sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't necessarily know what it is. So we're just trying to let you know what it looks like. Now, does this mean that, here's the reality, even if you're being charged this extra percentage, which again, I don't have a problem with because it does break out to be pennies. And if that's the cost of having them process the taxes for us, then so be it. I'd rather have that than obviously try to submit thousands of tax reports a year. So it's still a write-off. It is still part of your cost of doing business. It is still a business cost. It is something you're going to be able to write off in your taxes. Now, different write-offs, including taxes and expenses, are handled in different manners through by your CPA. Different write-offs have different percentages. Not every write-off is dollar for dollar. Some write-offs are only worth a percentage of the amount paid. So again, that's something that you're going to need to discuss with your CPA, and how much it's going to affect you remains to be seen based on how many transactions you have, how much it actually costs you, and how it gets spelled out on these 1099s that we still have a few months before we see them.
Yeah. So what we would say to you guys is basically right now, no panicking. This isn't anything that you should be like losing sleep over or worried about. It's a little annoying when you're looking at your eBay Seller Hub and you want to see accurate sales numbers that don't include sales tax, but whatever. Hopefully in the future they will change that so we don't have to look at it in that way. But otherwise, let's just hold tight until the beginning of the year when we do get our 1099s and we get all that stuff. Like I said, we'll invite Mark to come back on the show from Not Your Dad's CPA, and he'll be able to explain to us how this might affect our record keeping, the best way to handle these, and how PayPal is doing it to best basically be able to file your taxes and know where you're at and make sure you're doing everything correctly.
Right. And as soon as these 1099s come out, we are going to have Mark from Not Your Dad's CPA back on, Katie just said. We're going to have him back on for some tax information before we hit tax season, as soon as everybody has their information in front of them, because what I think might be beneficial is actually people having their numbers in front of them and know what they're looking at when they're looking at a 1099. And especially if this is your first year receiving one from eBay or Amazon or Etsy or any of the platforms. A lot of people have been small sellers or are new sellers and they've never received a 1099. So they don't necessarily know what they're looking at or how to do it, especially if you've been a W-2 wage earner and you just go and take your taxes and go to H&R Block, or you do it yourself online. There's a big difference between being a self-employed individual and receiving a 1099 and filing a Schedule C or one of the other business schedules, depending on what type of proprietor you are. There's a big difference between that and a 1040 EZ form, which is what a lot of people that are W-2 wage earners have been filing their whole lives.
Yeah. Here we go. Sally saying I need a new CPA. I don't think he's well versed in self-employed peeps. Listen, we've talked about Mark before, Mark 2 from Not Your Dad's CPA. Go check him out. Just do a Google it. It's notyourdadscpa.com, I think. Or you can look him up on Facebook or Instagram. We use him. He's fantastic. He's a seller himself. He knows exactly what he's doing. He works with sellers from any state, and he's super affordable.
He really is. He's done my taxes. He's done Katie's taxes. I had been using the same CPA for 13 years back in Rhode Island, who did handle my business and always has. And I will tell you that he was not a employment specialist. So he did a great job, and he was affordable. And even after I moved here, I would still send everything back to Rhode Island. But I'll tell you what, Mark found me more deductions.
Yeah, for sure.
Mark was better at, was better at what I am looking for because he understands the business better. So for me, and we don't get a kickback. I just want you guys to know that there is no referral fee or anything for us to refer him. He's just very good and very knowledgeable and easy to talk to. He's very, very quick, very quick. So let's see, there's a couple of other questions in here.
So Patty wants to know, when we go to managed payments, this won't be a factor, or can they still pay with PayPal? So with managed payments, I do know that currently they're not charging a processing fee on the taxed amount. I would guess that would change. And honestly, like my hope is that when everybody goes to managed payments, they would change that to, I would rather them be charging a processing fee on that taxed amount than overall increasing fees to cover the costs of dealing with the sales tax.
As of right now, if you're in managed payments, there are no changes. So what they may do or if they're going to do, we have no idea. So I'm not even going to speculate on that.
But there's still going to be the same questions around how our sales tax is going to be handled as far as income and costs and all that stuff.
And it depends on, and someone, Ruby had mentioned something about the B&O is doing her own taxes and things like that. Here's what you need to know. What we're talking about right now, every single state has different filing requirements for a small business owner. You need to speak with or know about your own state requirements. That's not something that eBay is going to handle for you. It's not something we're going to be versed on. I know for us, we live in the state of Nevada. And what I have to do is I still need to file my quarterly taxes with any taxes that I've collected on other platforms, first of all, and file and pay for that. But I also need to, and Etsy does it for me, and now eBay does it for me. So frankly, I'm not collecting sales tax on any other platform. So I'm okay so far. As it stands now, I'm no longer collecting quarterly taxes. So what I need to do is I only need to file, and I have to file 0, but I still have to file. Yeah. So, I file them online. It takes me literally 2 minutes. And as of, this quarter, I'm going to be filing 0. So,
yeah. So it's all fun stuff. It's all nice and confusing, but it shouldn't be anything that's going to like freak you out or that you worry about how you're going to be able to handle it. Like I said, I'm telling you, if you're going to be doing this whole self-employed thing, finding somebody, a CPA like Mark, not your dad's CPA, is going to save you a world of headaches and sleepless nights.
And Sally,
he makes it so easy.
Sally, he doesn't only do taxes for single self-employed people. Everybody has lots of different options when they file. So yes, he would absolutely still be able to do your taxes.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. He's going to know exactly how to handle everything. So it's going to be great. Anyway, so that's basically what we wanted to talk about because we see it coming up.
We just wanted to address it. Yeah. We didn't want people to be freaking out about it. It's a lot easier here. Sunny, Katie and I are never going to file together. So
yeah, but this is it's a complex thing, and so as much as there have been issues with eBay, particularly as of late, I would say this is one thing that people need to slow the roll on and not be upset about it. It's a very, very complex issue, and they're having to kind of work it all out. And we're not going to know entirely how it's going to impact things such as like our own personal business taxes and stuff like that. So we're just going to have to see how it plays out over the next couple of months. And again, we'll have Mark back on, and we'll be able to hopefully have much clearer answers as far as like what you should be doing yourself.
Right. It all depends on whether eBay is going to separate your actual sales from sales tax collected on the 1099 you receive, or if that's something that you're going to need to do yourself. Either way, you're not paying taxes on sales tax that you've collected because it's not income. So either way, it's not an issue. It just you need to know how it's going to be presented to us, and that's going to determine how you handle it in your filing process.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Anyway, all right. I think we got through that pretty quick.
Huh? I know.
Not 20 minutes. Not too shabby. Not too shabby. But speaking of sales tax, I know for me now that the eBay is collecting and stuff, now I have to pay sales tax when I buy stuff on eBay because I go on eBay and I source and stuff like that. And I got to tell you, man, it does hurt a little bit to have to pay the extra.
Before you get into this, I just wanted to I want to answer one last question, then we'll go. Sally, if your state is now collecting, have you changed the state sales tax box in your eBay settings? I can answer that. I actually sold something to Nevada this morning, and I normally had the sales tax populated in there. If eBay is collecting sales tax for you, that has overridden your sales tax stuff, so you don't need to touch anything. I did not receive sales tax for the state of Nevada today on my Nevada sale, so that should answer your question. Normally, I would receive the sales tax. So there you go.
Yeah, and Danny says the people are upset about having to pay the fees. But it's one of those, it is what it is. We can't change it. It's really pennies. And the reality is that PayPal charges a processing fee. They don't care what it is. Whether it's taxes or anything, they're still having to process it. They are providing the service that they provide. And
I think the eBay was absorbing it before because it was splitting it off before, and eBay was just getting the funds.
Right.
Now it's coming to us and then being submitted to eBay. So they're like a conduit. You know, PayPal's the conduit between us and eBay. We're not dealing with it, but it's still coming in as one transaction. And so now we're absorbing that percentage, which is, it is what it is.
It's unreasonable for eBay to not only be having to collect these taxes and remit them for us, but also be paying PayPal processing fees. Like I said, in the future, they'll be doing all their own processing, but it doesn't make any sense for them to have to pay those for us, considering they're doing it.
This is probably the way that it should have been set up from the beginning. And I'm assuming that either the programming or the contract or whatever, when they started collecting these sales tax, you know, in different states, just wasn't set up properly, or they weren't able to set it up this way previously. So it's honestly the way it should be.
All right, so let's get into what I was talking about with, you know, as just a buyer. Now that eBay's collecting those taxes, when I do sourcing on eBay, I'm having to pay that sales tax. But you actually can, and I need to do this, you actually can sign up to get the sales tax exemption when you are doing it for business purposes.
Correct. Sally just mentioned it. That's a nice segue, Sally. That's where we're going. So I do have a tax exempt number for my business. Katie does not, but I have one for mine. And so I need to sign up and send mine into eBay, because then you do not need to pay sales tax on items that you purchase for your resale business. It's not for personal items. So that's on you. That's on your conscience, how you handle that. But you should be using a sales tax exempt number only for items that you're purchasing for your business, either for resale or as business expenses, business supplies. And
we already have that set up that way for our Amazon account.
Right. I've had it set up for Amazon for years.
It's a business account, and it's great because when you have to go and buy supplies, we're saving like 8% because we're not having to pay that sales tax. We actually, I provided links down below to both eBay and Amazon where you can go to work out getting that sales tax exemption. And it'll tell you, I'm sure, whatever paperwork or documentation that you need to provide in order to make
It's not that
happen.
difficult. The Amazon one wasn't. I haven't done mine with eBay, but now that, you know, Katie went and found the link so easily for me, I'm going to do that today.
Yeah, exactly. But here's what I wanted to talk about while we're getting into that.
Well, one of the things I just want to say, one of the things that when you, like, for example, when you use your eBay shipping supply coupon every quarter, which I hope you're using, but when you use that coupon, that does not count for sales tax, right? So you can spend that $50, $25, or $150, and then you have to pay the sales tax on what you purchased, right? Well, if you have this set up, you should not have to pay your sales tax on purchasing your shipping supplies. So 100% of your coupon goes toward the items, because the sales tax doesn't, the coupon doesn't count towards sales tax. So
yeah, exactly. So anyway, what I wanted to talk about in another segue, speaking of Amazon and speaking of signing up for your sales tax exemption and whatnot, we don't charge for anything. We don't do paid courses. We don't have a paid Facebook group. There's nothing that we sell to you guys. We do get a little bit of ad revenue from this channel. It's very, very minimal. It's like, I think we're making, in the hours that we put into doing the channel,
wage.
If you don't include the work that we do with the Boss Facebook group, and you just do the YouTube, I think we're making, it's like $5 an hour, I think is basically what we get.
And I broke it down. I was going to say, it also does not count the, dozens of messages that you and I both receive daily that between eBay, Facebook, and Instagram,
and
emails. So yeah.
And the thing is, and that's fine. We like to provide this stuff for free. We really love to help other sellers. We're all about helping you guys be the best sellers that you can be. But I did, after lots of, we'll say, nudging by Victoria, I finally got us set up with our own Amazon. It's called Amazon Influencers. And basically, it's just like our own little storefront that anybody can go to and see kind of all the reseller supplies that we use. And they are like all affiliate links, so we get like a small percentage. So we just wanted to say to you that this is a way that if you want to support us, you know, you've been watching us, maybe you get some useful tips out of us, or maybe just a little bit of entertainment. This is a way that you can actually support our channel and help us keep this going, you know,
without it costing you anything.
Right. It's like if you're going to buy stuff on Amazon anyway, if you go through the link, which I have down below, it's amazon.com/shop/Katie Vicky. If you go through that link and then you end up going and buying other stuff on Amazon.
I don't care if you want to buy underwear for your dog, whatever.
Anything that you are already planning on buying on Amazon, by going through that link, it helps us a little bit because we get like a little percentage. But I have this whole page set up, and I'm actually going to share the screen because I think it's pretty cool. Not to toot my own horn or anything like that. Actually, Casey helped me set it up. So, but this is what it looks like. It's pretty cool.
Make that full screen.
I'll make it full screen. So this is basically Katie and Vicky's reseller supplies. So the way I have it set up, you can see there's links to all the different stuff. Most of this is stuff that we actually use. There's a little bit in here that Teresa T-Money gave to us to share as well. But like, for instance, like right here, this is the stretch wrap stuff that I use when I ship shoes to put them in poly mailers. This is the ring light that we use. This is the pull down projection screen that we actually use for our backdrop. The tape gun. Here's the little scale that I use. Here's one that you can use for bigger boxes, goes up to like 110 pounds. So it's just like all the different products that we use. And, you know, people always have questions about, you know, which things do we use for our business. And so, you know, if you go through here, you can see what we use. And if you actually buy them, then these aren't our products to sell. But like I said, we get like a tiny little percentage. And if you're looking at this, then you end up going elsewhere on Amazon to buy something different. Maybe you need some new makeup. I don't know, health and beauty products. You know, we get a little percentage of it.
And even if you don't choose to order the items that you're seeing there, if you click on that link and order anything, yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's like basically because you came to the site through our link, it gives us like a little bit of a kickback. So it's just a way to support us. And speaking of the whole tax exemption thing, I believe you have to have an Amazon business account to sign up for the tax exemption.
Mm-hmm. You do.
And so if you don't already have your account switched to a business one, if you go through and do it through our thing, I think we get like a little chunk of change for that too.
We get a little referral if you create your free Amazon business account. So if you already have a Prime account, creating an Amazon business account out of your Prime account doesn't cost you anything different.
Yeah.
If you don't have an Amazon Prime account, I believe it's the same price. There may even be a special on business accounts right now. So, you know, I've had a Prime account for years, and then I switched it to business a few years ago. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, you know, like I said, if you guys enjoy watching our show, we'd appreciate it if you just go check this out. Make your Amazon purchases through our link because it helps out. But I do have stuff on here, like for instance, this LA's Totally Awesome oxygen base cleaner. This is the stuff that I use that I soak my t-shirts in. It costs like $16 for 2 of these. If you have a Dollar Tree near you, they're $1 a piece. But obviously, there's some reseller out there who goes to the Dollar Tree. And
good for them because
throws it up.
Honestly, that's a pretty good profit.
Yeah, pretty much. Anyway, and I love these bleach pens. These are great for white t-shirts when there's like just one little spot. Anyway.
Yeah, all. So if you want to save our link as your shortcut to Amazon, we wouldn't be upset with that.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool.
Anyway, so what else do we have? There were some other quick questions in here.
Yeah, if you guys had questions that we didn't get to, feel free to like say them again because
unless it's something we did cover and you're just coming in halfway through, then go back and watch from the beginning. Yeah. As far as the tax stuff, for sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Let me see what else is there.
Anyway, Nate, do not buy that cleaner stuff through our link. you live here in Vegas. Go to the
Dollar
Tree, buy yourself 20 of them.
Buy yourself a case of toilet paper from Amazon using our link. But don't.
Anyway, but yeah, I'm trying to make sure that I have all of the products that we actually use in there, because every once in a while somebody's like, hey, what about this or what about that? And I want to make sure that we can say, hey, just go to this page.
And be able to give you an easy link. Yeah, we get asked a lot in the Boss Facebook group, like, what do you use? What is this? Where's a link for this?
Yeah.
So if we can just give you one link, it makes things easier. So thanks for getting on that. I've only been bugging her for like a year.
We're trying to get better about this stuff. It's, whatever.
And I know, before you say I should go ahead and do it, the Amazon affiliate stuff is in her name, so it's her account. I can't even.
Well, and it's also anything that's even moderately tech related. Give me a break. Come on. Yeah, come on. Let's be real, guys.
It's not going to be me. It's just not going to be me. So we even put in a link there for some of the Pretty Poly mailers that I use. Katie doesn't. Katie uses all the eBay ones only, but I use Pretty Poly mailers, and I get them from UPack and Ship, and I believe that is UPack and Ship's.
Well, what I was going to show on, because you can't link to us. I can't.
No, they sell on Amazon.
I can't link to their. Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So this is, so you can see right here, UPack and Ship. If I could, I would link to their whole store, because this is like all their stuff. But you can't through the whole Amazon influencers thing. I couldn't do that. So I just linked to one specific product. But like what I just did is I clicked on the UPack and Ship right here. Now, these guys are an eBay seller, but they also have their own website and they sell through here. But you can actually go through and they have a lot more stuff. Some really cool poly mailers if you want to zhuzh it up a little bit and send out some cool stuff in these pretty mailers. Vicky likes to do, and she goes to them to buy her giant ones.
I use all the hot pink ones. I use the straight hot pink. If they, I've got to talk to Bo and Corey and see if they'll create a pink peacock feather one for me. Yeah,
that would be really cool.
Okay, so there were a few more questions in here. So Diane asked, first Megan says, on eBay, you can only link tax exempt status for one account. It's true. So if you have a buying account and a selling account, tax exempt doesn't really work too well. Well, it does if you use it just for buying. That works fine. Then you can only link it to the one account that you use for buying.
I think some people are a little worried about buying with the same account that they sell on. I've never bothered.
If you're an old school eBayer, that's kind of the way we used to do things, because feedback was willy-nilly at that time, and you didn't even need to purchase something from someone to leave negative feedback, and people were rotten. So it used to be a lot more cumbersome. Especially if you're buying on the same account that you're reselling on. You used to be able to see people's purchase history. You can't anymore, so it's kind of different. Danica, we don't have a fan mail address. We have our actual address. All you need to do is message myself or Katie. We'll give you the address. We just don't.
That's another thing that we've been like taking forever to do, like, is get an actual PO box, which we should. But we're terrible at that, whatever. And Noelle, I agree. No Sasquatch mailers. Oh, so sad. So sad.
No, there is no B&O in Nevada. I'm actually not even sure what that terminology means, Lynn. I'm not sure what that means.
I think it's something they have in Washington.
Yeah, we don't have that here.
But yes, Danny, zhuzh it up is a technical term. I don't know how to spell it. I'm just whatever.
Zhuzh.
Very, very technical. So anyway,
schmutz is totally one. I don't know what you're talking about, Sandra. Schmutz is a real word.
Yes, absolutely. Anyway, yeah, any other questions, guys? This is our Wednesday show. We like to focus on business stuff. So if you have any questions, anything that you're struggling with as a reseller, let us know. We can answer those questions. Oh, there was another thing that I wanted to talk about. So I just got my first, remember we had mentioned there was some announcement talking about how they were going to start sending out monthly eBay seller protections summaries. And I just got my first one, and I just wanted to show people what it looks like in case you didn't get one. I believe, I don't know, this is just for top rated sellers, I guess. I don't know. As a top rated seller, you automatically protected and will receive this summary of coverage each month. See how you are protected below. And so it kind of shows you, like, in the last month what's happened, if you've had feedback removed, if you've had defects removed, if you've had return label credits, if you've done partial refunds. And so you can see I had nothing in the last month, but it does show in the last 12 months I had 2 defects removed. So that's pretty cool. And then it shows you your top rated seller protection eligibility. According to this, 100% of my listings are protected because I offer 30-day returns, and then it shows which ones are, not protected, but 100% for me. And then it just tells you how to maintain your protections. You just have to continue to be a top-rated seller, offer 30-day returns, follow eBay selling policies, blah, 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 blah.
Yours was not super interesting because you haven't had any return label credits
Right.
or partial refunds. If anyone else has a more interesting screenshot, share it. I think it's
Oh,
great.
sorry, mine's so boring. But I just wanted to point out that this is what it looks like. And so I think that's kind of cool.
I think it is pretty cool.
Just, I'm a big fan of, more information is always better. So it's definitely, I think, a much appreciated addition to what eBay offers us. So
yeah, Noelle, as mentioned this a couple times, let's talk about the lag time between PayPal and eBay. About 3 hours at the moment. Yesterday it was almost 10 hours. Yeah, I think that's part of these changes that are happening. It may be, sometimes it happens. I wouldn't be really concerned.
It's a PayPal thing.
PayPal thing is it's just the notification that's coming in late. The money isn't coming in late. So as long as it's in your account and the item shows paid, go ahead and ship it. Don't be too concerned. I had somebody I saw in another group this morning that was like, oh my God, I didn't get my email from PayPal. Should I ship it? I'm like, well, who cares if you got the email?
Here's the thing, guys.
As long as the money's there. It's
a PayPal thing as far as yesterday goes, because last night, I was getting PayPal notifications about paying Pirate Ship for shipping. And so it was like every 30 minutes or so, I'd get a thing would pop up and it'd be like, you paid Pirate Ship $3.88. You paid Pirate Ship, blah, 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 and then it showed the one for eBay shipping. So the Pirate Ship has nothing to do with eBay. So I really think it was PayPal having a weird lag.
My Pirate Ship notifications were coming in at 10 o'clock last night. I shipped at 8 in the morning.
Right. So that just happens sometimes. You have weird things where you won't get, or you'll get a PayPal notification, then you won't get the eBay one for a while, so, it's just kind of one of those
not
things.
A big deal.
I will say, one of the things that we've been having an issue with, that I'm hoping that eBay is addressing, and if you're having this problem, you should make sure that you are reporting it on your
the Seller Hub or through eBay for Business Facebook page.
Yeah. So what's happening is it's with the Markdown Manager, and so I'm actually going to go ahead and show the screen real quick. So basically, what's happening is that if you run a sale through your Markdown Manager, and then it ends at a certain time, it's like taking hours for the sale to actually end. And I'm not sure if
it's happening for me. I had a sale that was supposed to end at 9 o'clock this morning. It is still pending, still processing.
Yes. And what's interesting is it's showing, when mine was not ending, it was showing that it was still processing, even though it had been an active sale for days. So it's really weird. So it's kind of a pain in the ass because it's like I end my sales at noon and I usually give it a couple hours after they end before I start a new one. But if it just keeps going indefinitely for the next 10 hours, it makes it a little difficult to go in and start a new one.
Yeah. So mine has been processing actually since 8 o'clock this morning. So that's almost 4 hours.
Is it supposed to end at 8?
It was supposed to end at 8 a.m.
Yeah. Well, so that's what's weird. So let me share my screen here real quick. So this is see how it says I have 3 active sales going on right now. So what happens is, so these ones are set to end on November 11th at noon. So this is what happens is it'll be November 11th and it'll be 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And instead of saying active, it'll say processing. So that's what yours is showing, is processing. So it's really weird. And it takes hours for it to finally end. And so then you have to wait before you can start a new one. So what I was going to say,
and then it takes hours for it to start.
Yeah, my new one started pretty quickly, but still, it's a problem. So
there have been people talking about this for months. It actually only hit me last week.
Yeah. So it's been going on for a long time. So if it is happening to you, like Vicki said, you can go ahead and you can go to eBay for Business on Facebook and tell them that it's happening with you.
I'm not saying they're going to be able to fix it, but people need to be aware. The more people that keep reporting this as an issue,
the more they'll take it as an issue that needs to be dealt with.
Yeah.
But the other thing I was going to say is that anytime you have an issue like that, you want to go ahead and go on the page that it pertains to. So in this case, it's this page. See where it says comments right here. And then that makes sure that whatever you say does go to the right team, and hopefully they will.
And yes, a lot of the questions don't necessarily apply. So just read through the questions and put down where it says, tell us more. Or is there a problem? Tell us more.
Yeah.
The other thing too is that, you know, we've all been talking about the issues that have been happening on eBay, and I'm not going to continue to rehash this, but you know, it is what it is. It's, you know, you got to take the bull by the horns and fix the things that you can fix and move on and deal with your business the best you can. Danny said it earlier. We said it earlier. There's, you know, you can only control what you can control, right? Yeah. So instead of us talking in the Boss Facebook group every day about, okay, this is a new issue, this is a new issue, this is a new issue, not every single thing that you have an issue or a concern with is a glitch. This is a word we've been using a lot for the last few weeks, and I get it. A lot of it is related to the glitch that has happened with item specifics or glitches. Yeah. So, you know, we've tried to contain it on the group a little bit, try to keep it to 1 or 2 threads so that it's not a whole group of just being, you know, a bitch fest, because nobody wants that. That's, you know, we try very hard to keep a positive outlook on the Boss Facebook group. And I'm as guilty as anyone of being frustrated the last several weeks with things that are happening. I'm not going to say I'm not. I know you've all seen the shows. Katie and I've talked about it. We've both been frustrated. It's not okay. We're not trying to gloss over it. But the reality is because you can only change what you can change, you can't just sit and be stewing in the negativity all day, every day. You have to move forward and move on, and try to fix what you can fix if you can, and control the things around you that you can control, because, you know, being negative about it is not fixing it, right? It's not helping, and it just puts you in a horrible mood. It does for me anyway. So we do try to keep the Boss Facebook group positive. That being said, if you do have problems, it's okay to talk about them. Like, it's always good to go in and say, okay, is this is a problem I'm having? Is this something that someone else has had? I would suggest going into the Facebook group and doing a search for a post first, because we're finding lots and lots of duplicates. So,
and make sure you're reporting it. So you want to go and report it through the proper channels. I really think that, you know, reporting it on the actual page like that, when you comment, when you put in the comment and report stuff, it does go to the team that deals with that particular page, those items. So yeah, making them aware, because just bitching about it on social media doesn't really have any impact. You want to make sure that you're getting that stuff reported, and then figuring out what are the things you can actually do to help your business and move forward.
Right. And so going and checking to see if there's an issue that has been reported or talked about already, there's nothing wrong with that, because a lot of times people have said, oh yeah, I had that same problem and this is how I fixed it. Great. Look and see what the solutions are. That's what we're supposed to be doing, is helping each other find solutions, not just bitch. Right. So if you can't find something, then sure, go but you need try to frame it in the right manner. Not, oh my God, eBay's broken still. This, and this is wrong. Okay, I get it. It's frustrating, but be like, okay, so this is a problem I'm running into. Did anyone else have this problem? Did anybody find a workaround? Is it just me? Should I call? That's a good question too. Should I call about this? Should I report it? Because not every phone and everything deserves a phone call. Not everything is something that you can't figure out in 2 seconds by asking a question. So it is what it is. So like, I'm just trying to say, like, you know, we try to keep the Boss Facebook group as a positive Facebook group, because there are plenty of other groups to go in and bitch and complain because my sales suck and this sucks and customer sucks and that sucks. And we've never been that group, and we don't want to be that group. And like I said, this is a different time. These past few weeks have been very frustrating, but now at this time, we've all bitched about it for 2 weeks. Let's see what we can change. Let's see what's working. And let's talk about how we can take control of what we can take control of.
Right. And don't be too quick to jump on the glitch train and assume that if you are having sales that you aren't happy with, that it has to all have to do with problems on eBay. You want to make sure that you are doing your best to improve your own listings. Like you were saying, you know, you're going in and you're fixing your listings, and you're finding other things that you can make a little bit better about them and improving them and just making them a better listing. I'll say, when I went through and fixed all mine,
you didn't do that.
I came across, well, no, I didn't do that. But what I was going to say, so far I fixed all the ones as far as like filling in all the required stuff. And then I'm going back and I'm slowly over time ending old listings and making sure I'm optimizing all of those with all the additional stuff. But one thing I noticed when I went through and fixed mine is I probably had like a good 15 listings where my sizes were wrong. And that was because I do sell similar, and sometimes I'm going too fast and I'll have the correct size in the title, but then in the actual item specifics, I forgot to like switch over to the right listing, to the right size, which is a problem because that has an effect on like people drilling down the search. So
some of it is your problem.
It's true.
It's
true.
Well, what I'm finding is, as annoying as it is, going in and changing all of my listings, I'm touching every single listing. And by touching every single listing out of 25, almost 2,600 listings, I've been able to go in and change prices, manipulate titles, change around photos,
That all sounds inappropriate.
all that kind of stuff.
Touching, manipulating, rude.
I'm going in and doing all of this stuff. And in doing that, obviously that's increasing my search ranking on the items. I'm selling a lot of older items, but I'm also making sure that every one of my listings is optimized. So I know that when all of my stuff is fixed, whether it takes me another few days or another week, I know that my listings are all going to be as optimized as they possibly can be. So that's kind of a good thing. I'm looking forward to it being done in a few more days and having all my stuff look great. Yeah. So I will say that my sales have picked up. And I do think it's because the majority of my listings have been changed. So they're all fixed. They're not all fixed, but the majority of them have been fixed and are optimized the way that for whatever optimization they're looking for. And I think that's a part of it. So
Allison says, with no sales, the time I would have spent shipping items can now be used to fix my listings. The glass is half full. And maybe it has a little dirt in it.
That might be a little sarcastic. That might be just a little sarcastic.
So Colleen brought up a good point about another issue that was happening yesterday. I don't know if it's still happening or not. She says, do we know what's going on with counteroffers not going through on computer? I did have an issue with this yesterday, and I saw multiple people reporting it. What basically was happening is, you're on your desktop working, an offer comes up, and then you go to do a counter offer. And what happened with me is I went to do the counter offer and finish that, went on to do something else. And then it popped up that I had an offer and it was the same original offer. Like my counter offer had never gone through. And I just assumed at the time. I had
it happen a couple of times.
I assumed at the time that, there's been times when I forget to do the confirm offer or whatever, because you have to go through a couple of buttons to be able to do it. I just assumed I had messed up. And then I saw people saying like, oh no, this is actually something that's happening. And I will say, I don't know what was happening with that. I know people were saying that if you go to the app on your phone, you are able to do it. So if you do have an issue with it, just go and deal with it on your phone. I'm sure it's a temporary problem that will be fixed. So I don't think it's anything that you need to be like overly concerned about.
That might be why I didn't have any problems, because I think I countered all of my offers or accepted them all using my phone yesterday.
Yeah, so it is what it is.
Noki asked a question about Etsy. Do all vintage items need to have the date or year entered on the listing? We'll be listing your first.
There's a drop down for decades. And so you just have to pick the decade just to show that it's.
And if you're not 100% sure, guessing is okay. There's no vintage police that are going to come get you. I mean, don't be, it was made yesterday and you think it's vintage. That's not what I'm talking about. But if you don't know whether it's 80s or 90s, that's okay. You don't know whether it's 50s or 60s, that's okay.
And there's actually an option in the drop down that just says older than 2000s. So that's like, that could be anything. So really you don't have to worry about it. Just do the best that you can. But yes, you do have to at least pick one to show that it's older, but it is.
Oh, I see. Vintage. Drummer is in the chat. Please caress your listings gently. Yes.
Indeed. Anyway, anybody have any other questions? We got a few more minutes left before we have to get back to work.
Oh, Nate had asked in there if our meetup group is going to be at the new location this month. We're going to do one more meeting here at the house this October, this for November. I'll put it in our meetup group. But as of December, we're going to be moving to another location.
Yeah, for sure.
We're too big. We're too big.
By the way, if you happen to live in the Vegas area, which I know we have quite a few viewers that do, and plenty of you have yet to come to a meetup, you should make sure you do that. So get in contact with one of us, and we'll give you information so that you can come to our meetup and pack that sucker out.
Yeah, for sure.
We have lots of fun. We usually have too many cookies.
Hello, Vasquez Vintage. How are you? So we usually have way too many cookies, but we do have also some fun. And last two meetings we've had about between 20 and 25 people at our meetup. And we have plenty of people that can't come every time. So there is a rotating, list of people. We have about 80 people in the small group online, but that doesn't mean they all come. So we had to move out of the house is a little bit tight to do more than 25 because we all meet in one room.
Right.
And we're just running out of seats.
You can only fit so many
and we're all
people
kind of like
room.
Sitting like this.
It's like different when you're having like a party at your house because you have people dispersed in separate, everybody's in like different rooms and they're all moving around.
They're
and stuff
standing.
Like that. But if you're trying to have like a meeting where you're talking to everybody, it's hard to like pack everybody into just one space. So anyway, okay, so here's a good question, and that's Addict says, I shipped a tie to Slovakia and I'm wondering how USPS tracking works. Does it show all the way to delivery? Now that depends. Some countries do have delivery confirmation, they call it DCOM, for, going all the way to delivery in their countries, and not all of them do. I'm guessing Slovakia is probably one that doesn't necessarily, and some of them it's like sometimes it shows it's delivered, sometimes it doesn't. But do not worry about that. If you are going to be, well, where did you ship? I don't know how you shipped your thing, but if you ship through Pirate Ship, they have awesome insurance. If you want to do insurance, I've had to use them a couple times, and every time it's been painless because they deal with everything. But yeah, it's possible if they don't do delivery confirmation, it's possible that basically it's going to show the last time that it was in the US, and then that's all you're ever going to see again. Which can give people some heartburn. I'm assuming your tie is not like a $3,000 tie. So hopefully you're not too worried about it. But if you're ever shipping something that costs a little bit more, I would suggest using Pirate Ship and adding on their insurance, because they do a fantastic job, as you can attest to as well, with walking you through it, holding your tiny little hand all the way through the process. And
what if you don't have a tiny hand?
Well, they'll hold your giant hand as well, all the way through the process.
Okay. Weirdo. Sunny, I'm not sure what you mean by eBay sending out emails reading buyers are now allowed to purchase your items. I'm not sure what that means. I've never seen an email like that.
So yeah, I have no idea. I haven't seen it. Yeah, Nate says that he's gonna miss his couch seat.
You can still have your couch seat
but if
later this month.
But we move.
But when we move,
yeah,
you have to bring your own couch. No.
Regular old seat, unless you want to bring your own fancy seat. Hey, Bobby Miller's watching us from Sarasota. What's up?
Sarasota.
Where is Sarasota anyway?
Florida.
Is it? All right. I don't know. Tells you what I know.
I think it's Florida.
Yeah. Thrifting Kristen says, I've saved over $30 in shipping this week using Pirate Ship. Should listen to you guys earlier. You know, it's funny. Yesterday, we actually had a couple people over that were helping you. We had Dana was here. And then you have another friend that's been helping with doing photographs and stuff. And I was basically standing, because my office is like in a loft. So I was standing victorious with my package. It was a 4-pound Levi's denim trucker jacket with Sherpa lining. So if you've seen those, it was just under 4 pounds, but about 4 pounds.
It was a big one.
It was a big one. I managed to get that thing. I have a special fold and roll that I do with jackets. Okay. So I did my fold and roll.
Kind of like what you did when you fell out of the car.
Pretty much fold and roll. Fold and roll. So I rolled up real tight, but then I used my handy saran wrap thing, which the link to that, guys, if you go down to our little Amazon store link, I link these because I use these for shoes, but sometimes I use it on a jacket. And I took that jacket and I'd use this to roll it to get it tighter. And then I got that sucker into a 15 by 12 poly bag. Okay. 15, this is a long story, but it's going to be a good one. 15 by 12 poly bag. Got it into that bag. I double bagged it because I do that when it's a tighter fit like that. Double bagged it to make it extra snug and secure. And because I got into a 15 by 12 Pirate Ship, cubic shipping, $8.92 to go to New York for a 4-pound package.
That's an awful long explanation.
I'm just saying, guys, if you're not using Pirate Ship and using cubic shipping, if you sell like clothes and sometimes you have heavier stuff, $8.92. $8.92. Okay.
That was my ear.
You're rude. That's what you get. That's what you get.
You're funny.
Yeah. I don't know.
We're not moving Swift Seller. We're just moving our local meetup group to a different location. We were having it at the house.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure. And Vane's Closet. Yeah. I love the down jackets because they're much easier to squish up. But sometimes, man, that today I shipped out a
work up a sweat.
Today I shipped out a leather members only jacket, and it was a little bit easier than the Levi's jacket, but again, just under 4 pounds.
I don't try to roll them that. I don't try to roll them that hard.
Yeah, well, that one I didn't have to roll as hard. It was
I should have you help me with my blankets.
With your blankets. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like if it's going to save me $5, an extra 5 minutes trying to get it into a package is worth it.
I get it.
So
I'm trying to chase down a blanket that our mail lady was missing the other day, so she was off or whatever. So
tell your tale of woe.
So I shipped out a blanket. It was going FedEx home delivery because it was dim weight, and so I had my FedEx bag near all of my eBay bags that are going out USPS, and the postal worker, had it been our lady, would have picked them up because she scans every single thing at the door individually and loads them into the truck. Our whoever her sub was for the day picked up my FedEx and took it to the post office. So I don't know where the heck it is. Supposedly they're going to get it to FedEx at some point because they do have FedEx pickups at the post office for their FedEx Smart Post. So yeah, it's going to be.
Ooh, we're hoping it turns up.
I'm hoping it scans today. I have to message my customer today and say, don't freak out. It'll end up somewhere.
Nate, cubic shipping is only domestic. So I use Pirate Ship for all of my first class international. That's different than cubic shipping. That's a different service. So Pirate Ship, I do all my first class international with a simple export rate through Pirate Ship because it's so much cheaper.
It is.
And man, and it covers insurance and everything. It's great. So all right. It's noon, guys.
Noon, on time even.
We got to get to work.
I got stuff to do.
We got stuff to do. I missed a phone call from my dad earlier, so I'm going to call him back. Haven't talked to him in a while, so I guess I'll check in, let him know that I'm alive and whatnot.
Sometimes it's my dad's birthday. I got to call him today. So
pretty much.
Way to go. Got to do that.
Yep. So
Amazon dropped off my package. USPS took it with my other package going out. Ugh. Hopefully it got back to you, Rosie. I think it's going to end up. I think it'll end up catching up in another couple of days whenever FedEx picks up. I'm sure it ended up in the outgoing. It's not like they saw the package and weren't able to scan it and decided to throw it away. I mean, it's going to end up somewhere. I just need to tell my customer it's going to take a little bit longer.
Yeah, Natalie. Yeah, overseas packages don't always show all the way with delivery confirmation. They don't all do delivery confirmation.
Some do.
Some do. Some don't. Usually Sweden does, but yeah, some do and some don't. But I'm telling you, if you use first class international through Pirate Ship and use their simple export rate and add insurance onto it, it doesn't matter if it disappears off the tracking. If your buyer says that they didn't get it, you are able to file an insurance claim and you'll be covered. So just so you guys know that. I'm going to continue my crusade to convince everybody to do their own international shipping because it really is not as risky as you think. It will significantly increase your significantly increase your bottom line. It is a game changer. And I'm telling you, if you really want to make a go of this, if you really want to do well as a business, and you're not doing your own international shipping, you are missing out big time. Big time.
Vasquez Vintage, I just want you to know, you girls are quickly becoming two of my favorite people to follow on Instagram. You guys are killing it. So I just wanted to give you a little shout out there. You guys are really killing it with your sales, with your business model. You're hustling hard, and I see it, and I just wanted to acknowledge that.
And I'm just going to go ahead and say I don't see anything because I am horrible
you suck at Instagram.
At following anyone, anywhere, at any time. So I'm sorry. I'm going to take Vicky's word for it that you're really kicking ass right now.
Karen Ray's refreshing your total listings. Does it help at all? Right now, with a lot of the item specific issues, you're probably going to have a hard time doing that, but you can always try.
Yeah.
It depends on your number of listings. It depends on how many of your listings have been affected with the item specifics. You're not going to be able to refresh your listings if you have outstanding issues. It's going to give you an error.
Yeah.
So.
All right. All right, guys, let's get to work. I'm going to go call my dad. Then I'm going to do some listing. Then I'm going to do some processing of some clothes that I got recently and whatnot, and do some stain battles. Battle out with some stains.
All right.
Sounds good to you?
From Girl Scavenger, send cookies. I don't have any cookies, Noelle. I would send them to you. You know what? We had so many cookies left over from our meetup. I ended up throwing away.
Don't tell them that! That's horrible! She stole them right off my desk. It was so rude.
Listen, we didn't eat any cookies.
So rude. Anyway, guys, love you. Make sure you check out the link to our little Amazon thing if you want to help support us. If you're buying something on Amazon today, why not use our link? Huh? Why not? I mean, why not, guys? Anyway,
we can't use our own link.
No, we can't. So yeah, we'll see you on Sunday for the Sunday live haul.
Yeah.
How about that?
All right.
You should probably go out and do some sourcing.
I haven't done any yet. I will.
Right?
I haven't sourced in like 2 weeks.
All right, guys. We'll see you later.
Bye, guys.
Bye.